Look what Netflix just sent everybody. Look at this. We recently announced that Netflix will acquire Warner Bros., including its film and television studios, HBO Max and HBO. This unites our leading entertainment service with Warner Brothers' iconic stories. This thing is about 18 to 24 months away from actually being completed, and they're already announcing it. But let's continue. Bringing some of the world's most beloved franchises like Harry Potter, Friends, The Big Bang Theory, Casablanca, Game of Thrones, and the DC Universe together with Stranger Things, Wednesday, Squid Games, Bridgerton, and K-pop Demon Hunters. What's changing? Nothing's changing today. Both streaming services will continue to operate separately. We have more steps to complete before the deal is closed. Okay, so there it is. Nothing's been set in stone. So nothing's been bought or sold. The deal has not been finalized. And they still have to go in front of the government, Trump's government, to get the okay. And if Larry Ellison makes a phone call to Trump, do you think this thing is going to go through? Or you think it's going to take a little bit longer? You don't think, once again, the Ellisons will go to the WB shareholders and say, hey, if y'all don't vote our way, we're going to blow this thing up, thus devaluing your shares on purpose. That's what they're going to do. If Trump doesn't outright reject this merger, this acquisition, then the Ellisons will go to the WB shareholders and purposely devalue their shares. Okay? And that's what no shareholder wants to go through all that. They want to get their monies. All right, let's continue. For the deal is closed, including regulatory and shareholder approvals. You'll hear from us when we have more to share. In the meantime, we hope you'll continue to enjoy watching as much as you want, whenever you want, all on your current membership plan. Listen, if this thing goes through, the price just went up. Your membership, well, my wife pays $40 a month for hers. I didn't know it was that expensive because I have mine through T-Mobile, and they paid 70% of it, and I paid the 30%. I had no idea Netflix was over. It was $40 a month. I had no idea it's that high. You don't think they're going to raise them shits to 50, 60, 70 bucks a month? If they acquire Warner Brothers, oh my goodness, they may double the price, and you're going to pay for it. Because goddamn it, House of Dragon season 4 is coming. We got these damn Game of Thrones spinoffs. Yeah, I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need to watch those. Mojo, what's happening? Let's continue. Warner Brothers Discovery is the only scale content factory left that remains independent. This is a 100-year-old company, started by two brothers. And I know if they were alive today, they would turn over in their graves, right? They produce 30 scripted series annually for external buyers, run the second largest streaming service by content spend, and control DC, Harry Potter, HBO, and CNN. I think part of this is related to CNN because they don't. I think there's a group that does not want CNN over at Paramount. Okay, there's a faction of people that don't want to see CNN under the house of Paramount Plus. Okay, Paramount buying Warner Brothers creates a combined entity with Paramount Plus, Pluto, and HBO Max that suddenly has scale to compete with Netflix. Comcast buying Warner Brothers merges NBC Universal with Warner Brothers and creates a true Disney competitor with theme parks, theatrical distribution, and streaming vertically integrated. Netflix acquiring WB removes the last piece that could be assembled into a Netflix killer. Okay. Look at the bidding structure. Paramount offered $27 a share for all of Warner Brothers. Comcast proposed an NBCU merger. Netflix offered $30 a share for just the studio and streaming assets, leaving declining linear cable networks behind. They're paying a premium to acquire only the parts that matter while avoiding a $15 billion in legacy debt. The regulatory dynamics favor Netflix in ways nobody is pricing. DOJ blocks horizontal mergers between direct competitors. Paramount buying WB merges two major studios. Okay. Comcast buying Warner Brothers combines two theatrical distributors. Those are clean horizontal mergers DOJ blocks automatically. Netflix is buying vertically from streaming into production. The regulatory concern centers Netflix controlling Warner Brothers content, then restricting competitor access. Netflix solves this by committing to license WB content to other platforms for 5 to 7 years post-merger. The concession costs nothing in the year one, but buys approval, then commitments expire, and Netflix owns the IP outright. Also, Warner Brothers has an agreement locked in place with the movie, the theaters until 2029. Why does that matter? Because Ted Sarandos hates movie theaters. Ted Sarandos has stated many, many times that streaming is the future. Ted Sarandos wants you to stay at home and watch movies. He doesn't want you to go to the theaters. Okay? So the only saving grace of this merger is that they will have to honor that contract and put movies out in the theaters until 2029. After that, the majority of your shit you will be watching at home. And I personally love the theater experience. I like going out to watch the movies. I don't want to watch movies all the time in my home. I want the experience of a big ass screen, loud ass, speakers. I want to feel the vibrations in my seat. I want to, be around other people, clapping, cheering, sobbing, cracking, laughing at the jokes. The whole ambiance of it, I thoroughly enjoy. I don't want to watch everything in my fucking house. You know why? Because my wife is here. And then she likes to ask me dumbass questions. And I'd be like, shut up, I'm trying to watch the movie. It's not the same. It's not the same. Let's continue. The second order effect nobody's discussing. If Netflix closes this deal, Disney becomes the only other streamer with comparable owned IP. Everyone else, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Apple TV, become subscale overnight. You either own a century of franchise IP or you're licensing from Netflix and Disney at whatever price they set. Warner Brothers Discovery, carrying $40 billion in debt, makes them unmergeable with anyone except Netflix. Now remember, in the beginning, Netflix was in third place. Paramount Plus was the front runners. And then we had Comcast Universal in a distant second. Netflix came out of nowhere and said, nah, we got this. 80% cash. 80% cash out of $88 billion deal. Let's continue. Paramount already carries $14 billion in debt. Comcast would inherit massive liabilities. Netflix has $6 billion in net debt on a strong $380 billion market cap. They're the only bidder with a balance sheet strong enough to absorb Warner Brothers' problems. The 5% stock drop reveals Wall Street pricing execution risk over regulatory risk. So the 5% is a breakup fee. Netflix has agreed to pay $5 billion if this deal does not go through. It's called a breakup fee. Let's continue. Investors believe Netflix can get DOJ approval. Once again, Larry Ellison really wants Warner Brothers, and he's going to fight like hell to make sure either they win or everybody loses. Remember, the Ellisons, Paramount, paid Trump $16 million to let Trump go ahead and do what he said, to let them say what they want to say about him on TV. Right? This is the same Ellisons that canned Stephen Colbert because he said not nice things about Trump. This is who the Ellisons are. Okay? They're alt, right-wing, Christian conservatives to the extreme, and they have billions of dollars to play with. Let's continue. They're questioning whether Netflix can integrate theatrical distribution and operate legacy studio infrastructure they've avoided for 15 years. Once again, that contract in place between Warner Brothers and the theaters until 2029 is key, because that means you have to put stuff out in the movie theaters. Now, after that, they're going to close those windows, right? It used to be 120 days. No. It used to be movies would be in the cinema for 6 months, right? It used to be 6 months, sometimes a year. Then it got knocked down to 120 days, right? And then COVID happened, right? And then now it's 90 days. So now everyone has a gentleman's agreement about, hey, we're gonna keep it in theaters for 90 days. They're not even doing that. Superman was in theaters for 35 days. The theatrical windows are getting smaller and smaller to the point where it's not even worth you going to the movies because hell, it'll be on streaming in 30 days. You can wait 30 days. Most of you can. You know, could you imagine had Sinners gone straight to streaming? Could you imagine if Sinners had a 30-day window? It don't hit the same now, does it? Let's continue. Netflix locked themselves into either owning a debt-laden legacy studio or writing a $5 billion check for nothing. The only question is whether Netflix just paid $20 billion to prevent someone else from building a Netflix competitor, or whether they paid $5 billion to watch Paramount to do exactly that. All right.